Hi there, I'm Alex from the Southern Ukulele Store and I'm back once again to bring you the top 10 ukuleles of 2019. You're probably sat there wondering how we would compile such a list, so let me break it down for you. There are 6 of us here at the Southern Ukulele Store. We each sat down and made a top 10 list of the ukuleles of the year for ourselves. We then made a big short list with all of those answers and put it to social media. 500 people answered our survey explaining what their favourite ukuleles of the year were, and there was a suggestion box on the survey. So there are some instruments that have made this top 10 list that have surprised us. There are some that are not so surprising, and the public vote really just confirmed what we already knew. Either way, this video is the opinion of 506 people. If you are the 1 in 507 that disagrees with this top 10, hey, leave a comment below with your top 10 ukes of the year. I'd love to read it. But make sure you leave a like, make sure you subscribe to the channel. In the meantime, here's the top 10 ukes of 2019. Okay, now at number 10 we have a ukulele that I actually didn't expect to be here myself. It's an instrument that deserves to be here, and it's one that I love and one that I wrote down on my shortlist. But it's an instrument that won 10% of the public vote for top ukulele of the year, so I felt like it was fair to put it at number 10 on the list. It's the Barron, Lutz, Spruce and Blackbird Tenor. Now, this ukulele only arrived with us about 3 weeks ago. And the reason I'm surprised it's on many people's top 10s is because it's the only one we've ever had, and it's still here. No one's bought it yet. So as of the time I record this, which is about 2 weeks before the video goes live, this ukulele is still available. It has a Lutz spruce top, which is a hybrid wood, wood that has the benefits of different types of spruce with a curly black wood back and sides, which has no business being that gorgeous, does it? It's just great. And Phil and I filmed an unboxing video for this video, so you can see my enthusiasm for this instrument is incredibly genuine. I love this instrument. Ebony fingerboard and bridge with lots and lots of little details here. I highly recommend checking out our video on the Barron Rivers, the unboxing video. I'll put a link in the description of this video. But in the meantime, at number 10 this year, we have the Barron River Lutz Spruce Tenor. Okay, it's a little bit hard to hide number 9 because it's so tall behind me. This is a ukulele by Clara, a ukulele brand everyone knows, and a new instrument introduced at the NAMM show this year that has gone on to be just so popular. This is the Clara ABP8 CTG. Now, when this model was launched, I remember thinking, yeah, I've heard a few people ask for a baritone 8-string, but not hundreds and hundreds of people, but I was so underestimating this model and how far it would reach. One of the most popular ukuleles we've sold in any size this year. It's incredibly rare we sell 8 strings, it's rare we sell baritones, and yet this ukulele has lifted the sales figures almost single-handedly of both sizes. An excellent ukulele, part of Carla's very popular cedar and acacia range of ukes. This has a solid cedar top with laminate acacia back and sides, a mahogany neck. The fretboard material has changed throughout the year. Some have had walnut, some have palfero as a fingerboard and bridge material. This one has Padauk binding going around the body on the front and the back, which works very well with the cedar and acacia. You've got a matching Padauk rosette, and then you've got the Padauk binding going up the fingerboard to this really classy slotted headstock. KoAloha slotted headstocks as well as anyone out there in the world. This whole range of ukuleles, you know, this whole uke sizes, concert, tenor, baritone, and the baritone 8-string, the A, C, T, B, P, CTG range of ukes has just been so popular and made last year's list, and it shouldn't be a surprise that an updated version of that ukulele will be popular again this year. This ukulele is tuned DGBE. Many of our customers have asked to restring it GCEA, which is popular with a couple of our custom sets. In the meantime though, this is a baritone 8-string ukulele by Clara. It's the ABP8 CTG. Let's give it a play and see if you guys like it too. Okay, and number 8 on our list this year is another ukulele that just deserved to be on this list and couldn't be denied. By a ukulele brand this time last year we had never heard of here at SUS. If you're new to this brand, I suggest you check out the full range. But for the time being, number 8 is the KoAloha KTM-00. Now, the KTM-00 is the most popular ukulele in this brand, and it's absolutely indispensable. As I record this video at the tail end of 2019, this model has outsold one of the most popular Clara models, the ATP CTG. And there are a lot of similarities, but let me just run through some of the features about this ukulele that might make you choose it over a Clara or an Ohana, perhaps even a Snail at this price point. This ukulele has a solid cedar top and they all look pretty. This one's figured, but this is not a special model. This is just what you expect from these ukuleles. It has really gorgeous, very hot chocolatey Bacote back and sides. You get Padauk binding for days on this as well. You've got Padauk binding on the front of the body, Padauk binding on the back, on the fingerboard, underside of the fingerboard, but you've even got an inlay on the fingerboard in this Padauk. But it's very subtle, it's not too red, it's kind of an off-red browny colour. You have an abalone rosette with a Morado fingerboard and bridge. Morado is very stiff like ebony. When you fret it, it feels most like ebony, not so much like rosewood, but still looks a bit more like rosewood on this particular ukulele. You get some closed back geared tuners with a bone nut and saddle with a 35mm nut. Do not be fooled by Kai's own website, which lists it as a 37mm nut. This ukulele is distinctly 35mm. With a kind of taper out to the fretboard of 36. The other thing that sets this ukulele aside is the side sound port, so that the player is the one benefiting from the tone of this ukulele. And it's a small thing, but this ukulele also comes with a strap button, which many things at this price don't, and that would be something that would cost you a little bit more. The Kais also come in a nice padded gig bag. Need I go on? These ukuleles are excellent for around £200. You get so many things, it's just whacked full of features. One of the best value instruments I've ever seen at this price. I'm going to give it a play. This is the KoAloha KTM-00. Okay, now number 7 on our list this year is a ukulele that shouldn't surprise any of you. This ukulele's been going strong for 25 years next year. This is the KoAloha KTM-00. Now, the KTM-00 did change slightly this year. The body joins the neck at the 14th fret, and as a result, the bridge has shifted slightly, as well as a slight flat point on the bottom and just a general overhaul of the shape. but the KTM-00 is still one of the most iconic ukuleles of all time. It's very much the Hawaiian standard, along with the Kanile'a K1TE and the Kamaka HF3. And the only thing I can say about this ukulele negatively is that KoAloha do not make enough of them. I think that there have been only 3 occasions all year where we've had these available to list on the website. The waiting list for these has been so long. And the popularity for them is completely justified. A KoAloha has a completely unique sound. It's slightly more zesty, you know, a bit more boisterous than your standard kind of tenors like your Kamakas and your Kanile'as. There's something about a KoAloha that's just a bit quirky in all the right ways. It feels like it's made with love, and they're just a consistent koa instrument, and they're one that many people have on their list of instruments they must own one day. The body is all solid Hawaiian koa, and modern incarnations have an ebony fingerboard and bridge with abalone dots and an abalone inlay on the mahogany neck. KoAloha use their own tuners and new bone nuts and saddles, and they have a 37mm nut width that extends on the actual fretboard itself out to 38 with a rolled off edges, so you don't get sharp edges on your fingers when you play. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see this ukulele on next year's list. I know that with a big anniversary coming up next year for KoAloha, they're likely to do something a bit special with the KTM-00. But at the tail end of 2019, there is no denying that this ukulele deserves its place on the top 10 ukuleles of 2019. This is the KTM-00. Let's see what you think. Okay, now this year at number 6 we have an instrument that featured on last year's list but has continued to grow in popularity throughout 2019. The Blackbird Clara is an instrument that we were just going to leave out of the list this year in place of the Barron, the Tenor model, but the social media votes overwhelmingly voted that the Clara is more popular than the Barron, and who are we to argue with that? It's a great ukulele. A pineapple concert available in 2 flavours. You can either have a satin finish top in the natural e-koa or a sunburst gloss top with e-koa, both with gloss sides, and a semi-satin neck with a rich light fingerboard and bridge. The Clara is the perfect synergy of tradition and modern ideas. The instrument features no tone woods, so we don't have to cut down an old growth tree to make this instrument, and it's built completely carbon neutrally in San Francisco by Joe Lutwick and his team at Blackbird. The Clara is special because the concert body produces something more reminiscent of a tenor. It's effectively a kind of reverse super concert. It has a concert neck with this concert pineapple body, but the hollow neck and slight sound hole here at the top really resonates. The whole sound of this instrument flows through it, and what you get is a sound that's completely unique and sounds traditional and modern at the same time. Now, I've talked about the Blackbird extensively in other videos, and you can view these videos by going onto the website, looking at the Clara and looking through the various videos attached. But in the meantime, a worthy number 6 on this list is the Blackbird Clara in both the natural e-koa and the sunburst. Right then, and at number 5 on this year's list of top 10 ukuleles of the year for 2019 comes a ukulele from Romero Creations, a brand that many of you love and many of you have discovered this year. The introduction of this year's Grand Tenor has really changed things for Romero Creations. The Tiny Tenor and the incarnations of the Tiny Tenor were always popular, but the Grand Tenor and the even newer replica model have really shone this year. So many times, in fact probably more than 5 times this year, customers have come in looking for a Kanile'a K1 or something Hawaiian made, and they've decided to save a couple of £100 and go for one of these. It's just the most balanced, biggest, boldest, cleanest sounding koa ukulele that, sorry I'm holding it the wrong way for you guys, the biggest, boldest, cleanest sounding ukulele that you can come across really at this price. For just under £1,000 as I film this towards the end of 2019. This ukulele is solid koa top, back and sides. Doesn't have a lot of decoration, but does have an abalone rosette. You've got an ebony fingerboard and bridge, and the Romero neck is fantastic because despite the giant depth of the body and the big overall kind of bulkiness of the whole thing, the neck profile itself is incredibly slim. The nut width is still a kind of Hawaiian style 38mm, but the slim neck just seems to suit every player you can imagine. There's nothing not to love about the Romero Creations Grand Tenors. We've had mango, mahogany and koa ones. I'm showing you the koa one because it's the only one we've got left in stock as I film this at the end of the year. But yeah, number 5, a very worthy number 5 this year is the Romero Creations Grand Tenor. Okay, and if the Romero Creations Grand Tenor came in at number 5, it makes sense to make this ukulele number 4. This is another heavyweight koa tenor ukulele by Kanile'a. This is the KSR-T. The KSR-T was introduced at this year's NAMM show and has been the most popular selling Kanile'a model of the year for us here at SUS. It's the Kanile'a that received the most votes on our social media polls. So what makes the KSR-T so special? Well, there are a few things really that set this ukulele apart from the other instruments at this price point. Aside from the fact that it's got Kanile'a's very special, and Kanile'a seem to have the pick of the koa right now on the top, back and sides. You also have a very subtle koa armrest to make the ukulele comfortable on your arm as you hold it. You've got the ebony fingerboard and bridge with the pin bridge, which has been updated this year to have ebony bridge pins as well, which we think has made a difference sonically on the ukulele. You've got white mother of pearl dots and you've got white mother of pearl side dots, which really help when you're looking down in a darker room. You've got that ebony faceplate on this super thin, super sexy, stealth geared headstock with the flat point on the top, so it's still got a kind of traditional look to it. These tuners are my favourite tuners in the world as well, aside from maybe Waverley's, but these are just so cool. You just never get bored of looking at them. It's like watchmaking precision that goes into making a tuner that delicate and that small. It's hard to know what else to say about it. This is just a fantastic ukulele. It's a premium priced ukulele, but it's an instrument that feels like a premium instrument. Kanile'a made a lot of changes in 2019, and the KSR-T was an instrument that implemented many of them and did it, I would say, better or as well as any of the other instruments in the Kanile'a line. I could have included custom shop models, I could have included the OHA, the Platinum, even a Diamond has been popular this year, but the KSR-T has stood out. This has been the model of the year for 2019 from Kanile'a, and a worthy number 4 on our list. So I'm going to give it a play and see what you think. Okay, so coming third on our list of the top 10 ukuleles of 2019 is a ukulele that last year we had never even heard of. In fact, this brand is so good that we shortlisted every single model that they produce to be featured in the top 10, and we decided to narrow it down to one. Any of the ukuleles that the Rebel ukulele brand produce deserves to be on this list. But what we decided to do was poll it, so we took it to the polls from social media and we looked at our sales figures for the year, and unanimously people agreed that the Rebel Particle is the ukulele that deserved its space on the top 10 ukes of 2019. So the Rebel Particle can come in a couple of different iterations. It can have a cedar on one side, spruce top, or you can flip that. The back and sides can be reversed, so you can have Padauk or ebony or Padauk, however you want to look at it. And the fingerboard can be split from one end to the other. So there are at least two combinations of this ukulele in existence, and I could not pick a favourite, and no one else here can either. Great instruments, definitely deserves to be on the top 10 of this year. I actually voted this number one myself, but third place is nothing to sniff at for a ukulele brand that had not been seen in Europe before February of 2019. So number 3 on the list this year is the Rebel Particle. Okay, now the Rebel Particle is going to be a tough one to beat. But at number 2 this year, we're featuring a ukulele that once again, this time last year, we didn't know existed. It's an instrument that at its price offers a high-end ukulele experience with a great finish, great woods, innovative design, superb quality, and it's clearly a ukulele that captures people's imaginations. So this instrument was released around June time, but we found ourselves just constantly out of stock. And then in November, I finally got a decent amount of stock. I filmed this ukulele for the Off the Peg series on our YouTube channel. And overnight, I found that the shelf just emptied of this ukulele. This ukulele is the Snail S60C. Now, the Snail S60C is a uke that many of you may not be familiar with, and you may recall if you watched last year's video that Snail took the top spot last year and number 3 with the SUC series of solid and laminate ukuleles. Now, this ukulele we felt could represent the Snail brand on the whole because it is the best ukulele in the Snail brand. It's not a cheap ukulele, but at about half the cost of your average Hawaiian-made KoA tenor, KoA concert or tenor, you get something that is solid flamed acacia, which is great. Acacia, perfect mellow tone wood. It's got red Padauk binding with kind of yellow 3-ply around the outside, which is so subtle until you get close to it. It has a very ostentatious sound hole rosette. That abalone rosette is just amazing, and I think it's the thing that draws most people into this uke. You get a slotted headstock with great tuners, ebony fingerboard and bridge, all for about half the price of a Hawaiian standard ukulele. Now, the Snails are made in China, but they are definitely a premium brand, and this is definitely the instrument that deserves to be on the list this year. The rest of the brand are fantastic too. Never hesitate to look at Snail as a choice. But in the meantime, number 2 this year is the Snail S60C. We're going to give it a play for you now. votes are counted, and I can officially reveal the top ukulele of 2019. This ukulele has been consistently one of the top selling ukuleles and most loved ukuleles here for the past 2.5 years. It's an instrument that we regularly sell out of deliveries before they've even arrived. We have lists of people after them. It's a uke that can also stay in stock for a couple of weeks. Someone can come in and try it. They can try it against things that are twice the price, 3 times the price, and still walk away with it. If you haven't guessed already, the top ukulele of 2019 is the AnueNue UT200 Moonbird. Now, as I said previously, the Moonbird is not an instrument that's new. So if you've watched this list hoping to see something you've never seen before at the top, then I am sorry, but this ukulele deserves your attention. In 10 years of selling ukuleles, I've never known an instrument over £1,000 to be so popular. It's not a fad either. I see people out there, young people playing them, older people playing them, middle-aged people playing them. I bet if you look hard enough on YouTube, you can find an animal playing them. This ukulele is just so well loved and so aesthetically pleasing on the eyes, on the ears. They sound fantastic. They even smell good. There's something about the case for this instrument that just smells like my favourite sweets. It's just a great ukulele. So it has a Swiss moon spruce top with Indian rosewood back and sides. It's a gloss finish with an ebony fingerboard and bridge and a satin neck. The shape of the neck is completely unique. It's one that most people find once they get to grips with this, they struggle with a wider nut width or they struggle with a shallower neck profile. It's a very modern neck profile and one that is just, I'm sure people are going to be copying this for decades to come. It's got Goto planetary tuners, which would make most people's shortlist of best tuners you can buy. And yeah, I mean, it's just gorgeous. You can look at the spec of this ukulele on our website, or you can look at it anywhere online. Nobody I have ever seen has a bad thing to say about this instrument, and very few people have ever traded them in, which is the sign of a great instrument. I only wish that I had more words that I could use to describe just how good this ukulele is. For about the same price as a Hawaiian standard ukulele, this is a Chinese-made instrument that redefined for us what the Chinese manufacturers could do with ukuleles. This is a high-end ukulele at a great price, and we love it, and I'm not at all surprised to see it #1 on this list, and I imagine a smattering of you in the audience there. I'm not surprised either. I'm going to stop talking now. I'm going to give it a play and see what you think. Okay, so there's the top 10 ukuleles of 2019 as voted for by the staff here at the Southern Ukulele Store and our customers and friends on social media all around the world. But what was your favourite? I'd love to know. Maybe you can leave a top 3 ukuleles of the year in the comments section. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at alex@ukulele.co.uk. You can call anyone on the team here on 01202 430 820. Remember to like the channel, subscribe, click the little bell so you get notified when we create new videos, and also check out one of our other videos below here. In the meantime, on behalf of everyone here at the Southern Ukulele Store, I just want to thank you for continuing to follow us.